Hey everybody, it's Brian Hargis with Toys from the Attic, used toy man on multiple marketplaces. Today I wanted to share with you some things that I've recently sold and how I pack them. It's not rocket science, but of course the supplies you need are some tape dispenser, a good knife for cutting cardboard and other things, and some packing supplies like some good bubble wrap, some paper, and then of course an appropriate box. So, the things that I've got today to show you that I sold are this really wonderful Godzilla versus Destroya mint in box, an original box. And then I've got a couple of laser discs that I recently sold. Star Trek from the original series has got a couple of episodes, and then this Mel Brooks Life Stinks Laserdisc. Alright, well, let's go ahead and get started. The first thing will be this Godzilla. Basically, I would just take some bubble wrap and enclose it in that bubble wrap. Put a little tape on it, and then fold these down so that the sides are protected. And then again on this side to make sure not to get the box, because these collectors want these still mint in the box when they arrive. Finally, an appropriate size box. In this instance, I've chosen a 12 by 9 by 7. Funny story. Sourcing shipping supplies is often precarious. Sometimes you have to dumpster dive to get the right boxes. Sometimes you have to pay for them. I try not to do that ever. But if you wait, or if you do your securing of packing supplies in advance, before you need them, you can usually find a really good deal on Facebook Marketplace. Generally somebody's giving them away. Hopefully you have a friend or something, or somebody's moved and they just want to get rid of the boxes. They're happy for you to come pick them up. Anyway, these 12 by 9 by 7s actually, I went to a place that was closing, and I was just going to get 100 or more of them, and they said, well, I've got these pallets of these boxes. Would you like those? And I said, yeah, how much? And he said, don't worry about it, just take them away. And I have tons of those in my attic right now, still waiting for me to use them, but I use them all the time. Anyway, so what I like to do is tape sufficiently down the box so that the tape overlaps, and that way you don't have it separating and then you have an issue. And then of course I put this in bubble wrap, and it's going to nicely fit in this box, and I don't think it'll be moving around too much. So and if it is moving around a little bit more than what you want, you might want to take a piece of paper and crumble it up, put it at the top so that it no longer moves. And then again, overlap that tape on both sides. That way, if your box was dirty, it's securing itself to the tape, and won't come apart on you. All right, and then of course I will measure. Well, I know what the measurements are, 12, 9, 7. And then I will weigh this, and then I will use my Rollo printer to print out the small little labels, 6x4 labels. I used to use 2 labels on a, 11 by 9, 11 by 10 sheet of paper, I'm not sure, and a normal inkjet printer. But I was going through a lot of ink, and when I joined List Perfectly, which of course, if you watch any of my videos, you'll find that List Perfectly is the software that I recommend for resellers, especially if you're using multiple marketplaces. And at the end of the video, you'll find that there'll be a link at the bottom where you can save 30% off the first month. and of course I will also ask you to subscribe and like this video if you think it's giving you any value at all. So anyway, we'll get this, and I'll print it off on the Rollo printer. The Rollo printer, of course, is a thermal printer, so it's not going to run out of ink. And it's been wonderful. I actually got that free from List Perfectly, if I didn't already mention that. Okay, and this is how I package my records and my laser discs. So basically, I've taken a box, say a box that I cut down or it got damaged or something like that, and I cut it into these 14 by 14 by nothing sheets of cardboard. And then what I do is I take my Star Trek laser disc and I pull out the insert, because you don't want it to be shipping in that, because it may produce that little ring that people don't like. Some people are actually going to watch these laser discs. Some people are going to just take the art and put it on their wall or use it for some other artistic purpose. They're equally good. So anyway, so you take it out and you put it on top, and then you take a piece of paper, let's say a bigger piece of paper, you take the piece of paper and you wrap it in this. This may be overkill, but it's what I like to do. So you wrap it up and then you fold it over so it's nice and neat to protect that laser disc. And then you sandwich it between these two pieces of sturdy cardboard. And of course you're going to ship this medium mail. That's allowed for this type of product. And it saves you a lot of money. And so basically now I've got it sandwiched in there, and I take some tape here and I tape it around so that it's nicely sandwiched and in the middle of the sandwich. The laser disc sandwich, that is. And okay, so we've got it now where it's nicely sandwiched in there. And then what I'm going to do is actually I'm going to put a line down each edge and fold that over so that it's protected. And you know, you may not find it extremely easy to do the first time, but you'll get the hang of it. You know, now I can do it pretty darn quick. And although it seems like a lot of work, you know, you want these to arrive safely for your customer. And then lastly, this last one here. Okay. And there you go. It weighs about 1.1 ounces. It's 14 by 14 by 1. It ships for about $3 to $4. So but it's safe. I've never had one. Out of 50 or more that I've shipped so far, I've got a collection of about 700 that I bought, and I've shipped about 50 of them and haven't had a complaint yet. Haven't had any damage, and I don't think I will with this shipping method. All right, I tell you what, I've got one more item that sold last night, late yesterday, and it actually is a power amp. So it's something that a lot of people are afraid to pack. They're afraid to sell these bigger items just because of the shipping. But I'll show you that it's really not that difficult. All right, so one of the more challenging, things to ship is something that's heavy, like a power amp. And with the power amp, you've got to have at least 2 inches of clearance around it. You've got to use a sturdy box. But the main thing is that you've got to have the padding and something that will absorb shock, because it is going to get thrown around. One of the things that I really like to use is this semi-rigid foam. It's not styrofoam, but it's also not something you'd want to sleep on. It's semi-rigid. And this, cut into the right type of slices, can help you with your shock absorbing. Now, one of the things you have to do, though, is you have to find the right box. And if you don't have the right box, then you have to make one. And so what I do is I will take these boxes like this, and then I will put them together. Of course, you gotta put them together so that they're going to support the weight. And so once I've got that, this will not fit in that box. And so what I've got to do is put two boxes together, if you can't find the right box. And in this case, unfortunately, I don't have exactly the right size box. So what I'm going to do is put these two boxes and combine them. So what I would do now, excuse me, woo, okay, dusty boxes, is I will cut this box and open this up. It seems like I just cut that, which I did. And I'll take this portion out. So I'll take this. Of course, I can use that for something else later. So now what I've done is I've created this box, which is big enough, tall enough, but not long enough. So then on this box, I'll do exactly the same thing. And I don't know if you can see this or not. This box is probably in the way. So I'll put it to the side. So again, I'll cut this. Alright. Put that to the side. And of course this is not stuck together that well. So I will put it together. And then I'll take the two boxes, excuse me, and I will combine them into one box that is long enough for this power amp. Now I've cut these pieces so that they are exactly the right length. So that then tells me how that should be. So I'll make that, and then I will take my power amp, which weighs several pounds, probably 30 pounds or more, and I'll put that in there. Okay, then I'll take these pieces, which I have cut so that it fits right in there. So that protects it during the journey. Well, let's see if I can get this so that you can see it. So you can see now that those pieces will protect it from moving around. And then I'll take another piece like this and put this on top. Now I do need some pieces on the front and back. And so I'll bring this and I will cut this down. So that I now have a piece of foam that I can put in the front and the back. So I'll cut this in half, and I'll put this in the front and this in the back, and that should now keep that from moving at all. Then I'll put this on top. Then I'll cut the box to size. Just score the sides. There are tools that you can use to do a precise scoring, but with little practice, you'll get it down. Alright, so I've got that. Now I'm going to fold these down like that. Get it as tight as possible. And then I'm going to do some extensive taping. Okay, so I've done the top. Now I'll do the sides. Okay. And then I'll turn it over and do some similar taping to make sure that it stays secure. And then I will tape the two pieces together. So I like to do a lot of things. Just want to make sure it's safe. Continue. Alright, and there we go. We now have a very secure box ready to go out the door. Alright, thank you very much. The next piece that we'll go to is showing you how I use the measurements and the weights to print a label. Alright, and here we are, we're back. Now we're going to show you the screen where I print off the items that we just packaged. So on eBay, you'll see that I've got some things that are in my to be shipped or awaiting shipment folder. The Godzilla vs. Destroya, the Life Stinks, the Sunatech Laboratories power amplifier. So I don't ship them directly from eBay. I go to Pirate Ship. And so what you do is you go to Ship and you do Import, and it imports it from eBay, and you can see the three items here. And so let's say the first one is the Godzilla item. We're going to put in the package information, so it's 12 by 9 by 7. Package weight turned out to be 1 pound 9 ounces. And we'll go ahead and say insurance of, I believe it was it's $35.54 is what it sold for. And then we'll press Get Rates. So now it will provide me with UPS ground is the cheapest. You can do it says this is best. is UPS ground as well. So it's the best and the cheapest. And so we'll go ahead and buy that label. And then I will print it on my Jaden's thermal Rollo label printer. All right, so we printed that. Then I will go back to the import, and I will go with the Life Stinks Laserdisc. And for this one, I know that the dimensions are 14 by 14 by 1, and it weighs 1 pound. However, this one qualifies for medium mail. So I will get rates for that. And the rate for that was $3.65. So I'll buy the label. I'll print the label. And that again will go to my thermal label printer. And then finally, I will go to my last item, which is the power amplifier that we just packed up. And the dimensions on that turned out to be 21 by 13 by 8. And it was 34 pounds and 14 ounces. And I'm going to insure that. Let's see. I'm going to insure that for $169.96 because that's what it sold for. $169.96. And let's get the rates for that and see how it turns out. Shipping's $31.01 UPS ground, and I'll buy the label for that. Again, I'll print the label on my thermal label printer, and then I'll apply the stickers of the labels and ship it out. All right, so that goes through a daily shipping and packing for me. I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you would, follow the link below to subscribe. And if you also are a reseller but aren't using List Perfectly, I suggest you follow the link below, where you'll get 30% off your first month's rent subscription. And I'll also offer an hour of personal introduction to the software package by me if you're interested. All right, well, thank you very much. I appreciate your attending today.